Okay, moving on to the next Pac-12 team that we will be going over today. This is going to be the team that I have projected to finish 11th in the conference, and that would be Coach Wayne Tinkle and his Oregon State Beavers. And it's funny because last year, I actually considered Oregon State to be a little bit of a sleeper going into the season. And the reason being for that was not because of their coach. I think Wayne Tinkle is literally the definition of average, and I do think if he's not careful, this may be his last year in Corvallis, because I don't feel like the Oregon State Beavers have made that many improvements since he's taken over as the head coach in 2014. But last year, I actually thought Oregon State had a chance to be really good. They had Trace Tinkle, who is one of the more underrated players in the country, had a great college career, and he was really the heart and soul of Oregon State Beavers basketball. They also had Ethan Thompson Jr., who's going to be back on the team this year, the 6'5 senior. He averaged 14.8 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, and 1.3 steals per game. He's a legitimate player. I'm really looking forward to see what he could do going forward throughout his career. And then they also brought back Kyler Kelly, who's one of the best shot blockers in not only the Pac-12, but in all of college basketball. And Oregon State had a big three of those three guys, and still, with that being said, they were not able to sniff the NCAA tournament. And when I look at this year's Oregon State team, I like that they bring back Ethan Thompson. I also like that they bring back two returning starters in Zach Reichel and Alfred Hollins. Reichel averaged 8-3-2 last year. Hollins averaged 5-3-1. But at the same time, I just feel like if Oregon State can't win with your Kellys and your Tinkles of the world, two players that were very talented, I'm just not 100% sure how exactly the Beavers are going to be able to do it with this team and succeed with this team, just because the talent level is super, super low. And when you look at Oregon State, I totally understand that last season they did win in the Pac-12 tournament. They had a crazy first game against Utah. When I was previewing Utah earlier, that was the game I was referring to when the kid Alfonso Plummer hit 11 threes and Jared Lucas for Oregon State hit a game-winning three, and that's actually how the Beavers ended up moving on. That was literally the last college basketball game I remember watching before the country shut down. That Jared Lucas three, Oregon State and Utah in the Pac-12 tournament. But Oregon State, they have to be at least somewhat better this year, because this is going to be the last season of Ethan Thompson, and Thompson was awesome last year, and he was really good in past years behind his brother Steven and Trey Tinkle. But for Oregon State to be competitive in 2020, 2021, he is really going to have to take that next step as the top dog alpha male, and I would love to see him average like 20 points a game. If he could get his scoring numbers up to that, I think that would be a really good sign for Oregon going forward. And then Hollins and Reichel are not Pac-12 caliber starters, but they're likely going to be the second and third option on the offensive side of the ball, which leaves the Beavers really searching for that secondary creator to go alongside Thompson. And there are two sophomores they have. I mentioned them. One, Jared Lucas, the kid that hit the game-winning shot against Utah in the game I was referring to, and also Gianni Hunt. And they've yet to play without the Trey Tinkle training wheels, but Lucas is a very good scorer and did catch fire in a couple of games last year. He is a very good catch-and-shoot shooter, and I do think him playing a role with Thompson could maybe be a path to success going forward for Oregon State. But they're going to need other guys to step up and get the job rolling. Now, Coach Tinkle missed on two grad transfers that I think would have been very good for his team, including Matthew Moyer and Cam Parker. Those were two early targets who could have filled critical positional needs, but became no real options to go to. So Coach Tinkle went the JUCO route and got Tariq Silver, Maurice Kalou, and Rodrigo Andala. We've been told by the JUCO recruiting rankings top 100 in past years that these guys are top 30 prospects and they could typically make an impact at their D1 destinations. But it's just when you have all of these JUCO guys and you're going to be relying on them, I'm not 100% sure that I could believe in the Oregon State Beavers this season. To all of the frequent flyers on the Pac-12 and all the Pac-12 fans, you'll notice that we've been kind of saying the same thing about Oregon State basketball for the last couple of years, and I feel like only 3 Power 6 basketball programs, including Pac-12 foes Cal and Washington, are more in need of success than Oregon State. The frugal spending of their budget has severely hampered recruiting, forcing Trace Tinkle to turn over every possible stone on the transfer wire. He's hauled in a few prominent JUCOs in the cycle, but they won't mitigate the loss of his son Trace and the Beavers' leading shot blocker, Kyler Kelly. So with that being said, I'm not too confident in this Oregon State team at all. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the Power 6 college basketball this season, and I wouldn't be shocked if they finished in last place in the Pac-12. I really like how Ethan Thompson plays. I think he's going to be the guy that prevents Oregon State from coming in last. But to be honest, I'm really not confident in this team at all. I'm really not confident in Coach Tinkle at all. And I do think Oregon State, in order for them to be successful, they're going to have to make a move at coach, because this program is just going absolutely nowhere.